This obsession with an unproduced movie is very interesting. I think that's, but I agree with you. You know, it's a good book. You know, the other ones are a little slight. I mean, none of the adaptations are particularly fabulous. You know, I mean, The Grinch was challenging. Anyway, we can talk about it. I mean, it just was a case where a friend of mine was the producer who, his name is Chris Meledandri, and he's the king of the Illumination Empire that does all the Minions movies and Despicable Me and Sing and Secret Life of Pets and all these movies. And I know him from Cool Runnings because he was executive producer. He's been a friend and a colleague for 30 years. And he had like 20 writers on that movie, and they were in trouble. And he called me just to do a little bit of rhyming narration because he knows I'm a poet and I'm good at that stuff. And then I just ended up rewriting the whole movie and sort of getting back into working with him. So that's what happened on that. But you know, it's not a particularly fascinating story, you know. But all the places you'll go, I thought was, at least our version, all in verse like that. You know, I really felt like it really was a Dr. Seuss universe, you know, for real. And at that point in the game, you know, that was before Chris started, you know, had done the Lorax, because he did the Lorax too, and became friends with Audrey Geisel when she was still alive, Ted's widow, I guess, you know. And there was a lawyer who was running the estate. And I remember, you know, we wrote this draft and TriStar flipped for it. They loved it. They were going to green light it. And the lawyer loved the Doctor's song that you read, you know, that early Doctor's song. He said, that's really Seuss lampooning doctors and doing this. But Audrey, not knowing us and not really knowing much, I mean, and us not knowing her, freaked out because of the characters we invented who were original non-Seuss characters. I think there's one called Professor Milo Mergery, the King of Plastic Surgery, and a couple of others. And she was deeply offended and put the kibosh on the whole thing. She just was like, you guys have crossed a line, like you're disrespectful. And she pulled the plug on a movie that seemed like was going to happen.
And was Roland Joffe and Ben Myron involved at
never got involved. Those guys had nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Nothing at all to do with it. It was straight up. I don't even remember who the executive was, man. I know Metaboy was probably running the place because he was running it. I don't remember anything. All I know is that was the best. I think that's the best script we ever wrote. I mean, it just was. It's so. I mean, I never had so much fun writing anything in my life, man. I mean, I was happy as could be. I'm just going to get the documents, get to the market to go. Yeah. I was never so happy, man. I mean, I was never so free, never so happy, never so, you know, truly creative. Like really doing something where it was like real creativity. You know, not screenwriting creativity. It can't be creativity, but it was poetry. You know, and it felt wide open. And it's about the story, you know, the kid, the fear chasing him in the green pants, and his fear. We loved it, man. We were heartbroken when she put the kibosh on it.
And I think I was thinking of asking when you were first starting on the script, were you given like before you started the script, were you given like the original Dr. Seuss draft?
Yeah, we were given. You know what? We were given it, and. You know, I worked with a partner who was no longer with us named Michael Goldberg, who you know, you mentioned and said to me. Michael was an incredible story person. He didn't write really. He didn't even type. I did all the writing, and then he did the notes and sort of organized my thinking. I like to say I was the horse and he was the jockey. And so he must have read them, you know, and I probably maybe looked at Seuss's. It was long. It was kind of muddled. He just was the screenwriter, you know. And ours is more of a play than you read. So I don't think there was anything. I think it was just like cat in the hat, read this book, write this movie, boom, you know, just off and running in the best way. No interference. I don't remember anything except the joy of it, the great response, and then Audrey going, you guys made up characters as if we had like disrespected her husband in some kind of, intense, egotistical arrogance of us, to make up original characters. And I guess in retrospect I understand, but it's a shame.
I think when I was reading the script, I remember it got to, I think I actually somewhere midway stopped reading the script and I had to go because I had this book that I bought from Barnes and Noble. It was like the Hunches and Bunches book, and I had to know where are hunches, and I got the book and I started reading and learning what they were, and for the previous scripts I actually could not know what the heck the hunches were like. So and I pretty much read the book and finished it and continued where I left off reading your script.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of Dada crazy ass poetry, It's just like that. But he has that narrative. You have that thing. You have the kid who won't say his name, so it's a wonderful thing because you're able to progress and check back in. Has he cured? Has I gotten somewhere? He still can't say. It's a beautiful device to drive story forward where you're able to go for an adventure. Is that enough? Was that enough to get you to say it? And then, of course, at the end he says it. That wonderful thing where he puts on his green pants, which are his own fear. And we were very happy about that. We thought that was kind of like, good Freudian psychology for the 5-year-old. And that's just great. I don't know. It's funny, I sent it to some guy recently who wanted to make Cool Runnings into a musical. This should be a Broadway musical. But I didn't know anything about JJ. I don't know the progress of the JJ thing. So, anyone ask me about Child's Play?
I may want to ask about that.
The best part of Child's Play was I met this really hot girl in Chicago on location at the museum, the Chicago Art Institute. That was the highlight of that experience. And then there was a great thing where Tom Holland, the director, I'm playing the cop who's on stakeout, and I'm supposed to be bored. And so I put this bag of M&M peanuts in my mouth and just let it hang there, the bag, and I'm like sucking them, pushing one at a time into my mouth. And he goes to me, Tommy, we're starting now. And I was like, dude, exactly. Don't you get it? I'm bored. I'm on stakeout. So there you go. My acting stories. What else?
I'm not going to think about asking about Howard the Duck.
About what?
Howard the Duck.
The great thing about Howard the Duck, this is my favorite story, and I don't think I've ever told it anywhere. Like, if anyone will listen to your podcast, but if they do, they'll hear this. This is my new story. Best thing, Howard the Duck. I play a rock and roll. First of all, Robert Downey's part. He gets back to school, the Rodney Dangerfield movie, gets a bigger part, leaves, and I get his part. There's a little person, as they call them now, and named Ed, who's in the duck suit. And I play Ginger, the band manager, and he stabs me through the ear with an ice pick for an earring and pins me to the bar.
Right.
Same guy, Ed, is in the Chucky suit and chokes me, like 3 years later. I got mauled by the same dude. One time in the duck outfit, one time in the Chucky outfit.
Right, I think it was Ed Gale. I think that's his name.
Oh, there you go. Look at you. You know who he is. Right. I think you're right. So there that is, and that's my Howard the Duck story. It was I just remember them being kind of inept. Gloria and Willard Yuck, the writers, and Lucas coming in and directing because they were so far behind schedule and spending so much money. And buying my first pair of 1985 red and black Air Jordans on location. And then Tim Robbins was up there, and I think Cusack was up there with them visiting them, and I hung out with them. Anyway, Hollywood Tales. That's what happened with Howard the Duck. And then Child's Play was just, I mean, I had no idea it would become such a hot button. Cool Runnings too. You know, I mean, I know you haven't seen that, but I had no idea. You know, when I wrote that it would become an institution. Those are two institutions I somehow got myself involved in. Although one of them I'm the writer, and one of them I got a medium-sized part. Thank you for reaching out to me. I'm glad. I mean, your interest is so interesting to me in this unmade thing, but I'm glad you read it. I'm glad we got a chance to talk.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like you were unsure you want to talk about this, or because I think
I just was sort of going like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But I mean, it's if you give a shit, I guess someone gives a shit. You do. So I'm talking to you. You know, I'm happy to. I mean, it just seemed kind of abstract and strange, and you know, I mean, talking about yourself is always weird, but I don't mind. But I appreciate your interest, and I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Yep. Thank you.
Wow, and if you want to watch I have a movie I directed on Amazon called The Thousand Junkies. It's on Amazon Prime for free, and it is the opposite of the Grinch. So if you want to watch a very interesting junkie movie that has no drugs in it, a drug movie with no drugs, that's a cool movie on Amazon Prime. And also I just wrote a book, a detective, kind of about Hollywood screenwriting, and Shrek is mentioned in it. I don't think all the places you go might be mentioned in it. Yeah, it is. All the places you go is mentioned in my book.
Okay.
My experience with it, because it's semi-autobiographical, but it's a kind of Raymond Chandler book. It's called Straight Dope. It just came out about a month ago, and everyone can get it on Amazon or in bookstores. It's Straight Dope. It's on Stark House Press.
Nice.
Yeah. Check that out. You'll like both of those things, man. They're both. The first one, the movie is quick and easy, but the other one has a lot to do with screenwriting. You might get a kick out of it. You might really enjoy it, man.
Okay.
Or send me your address. I'll send you a copy. Although you're up there, Powell's has it. Go to Powell's. They have the book.